So we're back with a fellow authoress. I'm saying authoress. Melinda Ponder, biographer and professor of English Emerita, Pine Manor College, Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts.
Right.
You still live in Massachusetts, Melinda?
I do.
Wow, so we're lucky to have you visiting Arizona.
I'm visiting a high school friend here, and happy to be here. I've never been to Prescott before. And I'm sure most of your viewers know Prescott's named for William Prescott, who was from Boston.
Who never came here.
I've been in his house. No, he never came here, but he was a historian of Spanish explorers.
And if you look at Prescott, you know, on the internet, you get Prescott everywhere. Everybody named their town Prescott. So I had never heard of a Prescott till I moved here. And maybe they say Prescott, depending on where it is. I don't know. But anyway, thank you. See? And you are a biographer, natural interest person you specialize in Hawthorne, kind of.
Yes,
right?
I had published 2 books on Nathaniel Hawthorne, and that was really how I found Katherine, because I knew that someone named Katherine Lee Bates had written America the Beautiful. When I came home singing it in 4th grade, my mother told me that a woman from her college, Wellesley, had written it. But of course, she hadn't known her because my mother was different time period, right? So I lost interest, and then I sang it myself at Wellesley. At step singing all 4 verses many times. So I knew that Katherine Lee Bates had written America the Beautiful. And then when I was on a panel once looking at Hawthorne's, how his books had been marketed over the years with the introductions, 3 of the 4 of us singled out Katherine Lee Bates's introductions as the best. And I thought, wow,
for Hawthorne,
could this be the same person who wrote America the Beautiful? Because as a professor myself, I knew I would never have had time or, you know, been able to write such a wonderful song, as well as be a scholar. So I went out to Wellesley to find her materials to see if I could get just an article. And little did I know, 25 years later, my book would be out.
It does take time to write these. You're not writing constantly for 25 years.
That's right. You're doing research.
Research, and then you know there's all other life interferes.
That's right.
And
yes, I had a day job, right.
But finally, it is released now. Katherine Lee Bates, From Sea to Shining Sea.
Right. Well, and one of the most fun things about researching this book was that I found she was a big traveler. So I went to every place that she had traveled to or gone that was important in her life. And the main thing, well, the first thing, that, in 1893, she came out west. She came to Colorado Springs to teach summer school, and of course, she was from Boston, and she'd never been west in this country before. Took the train to Chicago when it was the famous World's Fair with the White City in 1893 that was celebrating 400 years of American discoveries, achievements, inventions, and especially the art. So the fair was meant to present Americans' identity, including the West. So there were sculptures of bison and Western animals, and some of the artists were Western artists, of course. And so this was going to be the whole country that was celebrated, and Chicago was the gateway to the West. So she stopped there on the train coming and going to Colorado, and then went up on Pikes Peak and saw the Purple Mountains Majesties.
So all this, you think, inspired her to write. Did you write other songs too?
Well, she wrote this as a poem first. She didn't intend it to be a song, but people started singing her original version of this song, called America, and changing the words around to make it easier to sing. And so she revised it then in 1904 to be singable and
so
to have...
she did write the music too?
No, she didn't write the music.
She did not. Okay.
The music we sing is a hymn called Materna. But it was sung to different melodies. I've got sheet music for four other melodies.
Something completely different to this melody, as I recall.
Well,
somewhere.
that may be the Star Spangled Banner. That's to an English drinking song. But the country always knew that there were committees of men during the Civil War searching for a national anthem that would be much easier to sing. And Katherine had their book in her house, but of course, she was too young to submit her poem then.
It is so touching. I think through the years we've all sung it in grade school. Everywhere we sing it. And when I think of it, you know, the Purple Mountains Majesty, you name it, all those beautiful, beautiful word images that she comes with. I mean, it makes me cry because it's so it does touch us where we live in terms of Americans.
That's right. Well, she really wanted that summer that she was out in Colorado was a terrible financial depression. There were jobless men on the streets of Colorado Springs, you know, a spa town, a fancy town. But she also went over to see Cripple Creek. I thought of that more with Prescott, gold mining town. And, you know, she saw American enterprise. Women could own these gold mines and make the claims there
that
too.
time was
at that
unusual.
time. That's right, but women were important in the West, and I think that summer really empowered her, and she did want to try to think of how to bring the country together. And so the poem, you know, the landscape was one thing we all love, and our history and our ideals. And later, I was looking through some of the later verses, and this idea of the pioneers marching forward, and you know, I think she felt that in the West when she was out here.
You definitely get the passion. Now, you started this biography with a story of the American soldiers on the Verdun battlefields of World War I, who, when they heard the armistice had been signed, this just gives me chill, they stood and sang "America the Beautiful" and saw the Yankee Division flag image. So that's pretty powerful.
It gave me chills too. That's why I started my book with that, because she heard this story. She was still alive.
Can you imagine these men who have survived, and finally
That's
the war is over, and this is the first thing they sing?
That's right.
Oh,
That's
I'm
right.
getting choked up.
I know.
Just like
I
so
know. Well,
beautiful.
I know.
And what an honor to her and a witness. Now, you're going to be giving a talk at the Prescott Public Library tomorrow about this.
Yes, I am. Let me see. I think it's in the afternoon at 2:30.
2:30.
Yes. So there I'll be talking about America the Beautiful and sort of the chapter of the chapter in her life between when she wrote the original version and when she revised the words, added the words I think we especially love, "From Sea to Shining Sea," and the theme of brotherhood she's strengthened in it.
Wow. Well, it's absolutely wonderful. I didn't get through the whole thing, but I have begun reading it, and it is lovely. Katherine Lee Bates, "From Sea to Shining Sea,"
Oh, thank
biography. Yes, thank you, Melinda Ponder.
Thank you so much.
And I'm going to read your Hawthorne too. I have a building called Seven Gables because it has 7 apartments after Nathaniel Hawthorne. Anyway, thank you, Melinda Ponder.
Thank you.
Author of this wonderful book. Okay, don't go away. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.